It was 2 a.m. when the pounding on the door jolted Ethan awake. Sharp, urgent, and nothing like the knocks of someone who belonged there. His heart kicked hard against his ribs. As a single dad, fear wasn't about himself anymore. It was always about his 7-year-old daughter sleeping in the next room that he rushed to the door, half tired, half terrified, and pulled it open. And there she stood, Madison Carter. His boss eye in the middle of the night on his porch, hair damp from the drizzle, chest rising and falling like she had run the whole way before he could speak. She whispered, breath trembling, "Say that again while looking at me." That was the moment everything changed. If you're here, you're already feeling the pull of the story. Stay with me till the end, because you won't believe what truly brought Madison to that door. Ethan blinked at her, confusion swirling inside him. "Madison, what are you doing here?" "It's 2 o'clock in the morning." She swallowed. "What?" "What you said today. In my office." Her voice softened. "Can you say it again?" He remembered instantly and felt his stomach drop. Earlier that afternoon, he had reached his limit. Bill's work, his daughter Mia's asthma medication running out. He had gone to Madison's office and apologized for declining yet another overtime shift. "I'm not unreliable," he had told her. "I'm just a dad trying to do right by his daughter." It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't emotional. But Madison's face had changed when he said it, like he'd opened a window she didn't even know she needed to breathe through. Now she stood before him, needing something from him. Something she'd probably never asked from anyone. "Ethan," she whispered again, voice breaking. "Please say it." "Look at me and say it." He hesitated, then met her eyes. Tired, hurting, and holding a kind of loneliness he suddenly understood too well. "I'm a dad," he repeated gently. "And I'm trying my best, even when it doesn't look like enough." She closed her eyes as if the words were a salve she had been desperate for. "Ethan, can I come inside for a moment?" she asked as he stepped aside, still unsure. And she walked in with a trembling breath, scanning his small living room, the drawings taped to the fridge, the blanket on the old couch, the tiny shoes by the door. "This is what you're fighting for," she murmured. She sank onto the sofa, looking small for the first time since he'd met her. Madison was the type of CEO who never flinched. She walked like she owned the ground under her feet. But now she clutched her hands together like someone holding herself up from the inside. "I'm sorry for showing up like this," she said. "You scared me," Ethan admitted softly. Yeah, her lips twitched. "I scared myself too." Then slowly she told him. Her father, the founder of the company, had passed away exactly 1 year ago to the night. She had spent the evening alone in her penthouse, trying to convince herself she didn't need anyone. But she kept hearing Ethan's words in her head. "I'm just a dad trying to do right by his daughter." "You weren't talking about responsibility," she whispered. "You were talking about love." A tear slid down her cheek before she could catch it. Madison Carter, impossibly strong, impossibly composed, broke open right there in his living room. Ethan sat down across from her. "Madison, why come to me?" "Because," she breathed, "I don't know how to be around people who love someone that deeply. And today you made me realize I miss it. I miss feeling connected to something real." Silence settled thick and tender between them. Then Mia's soft voice drifted from the hallway. "Daddy, I heard someone talking." Madison froze. Ethan gently motioned Mia over. She padded sleepily into the living room, rubbing her eyes. When she saw Madison, she gasped. "That's your boss," she whispered loudly. Madison's choked laugh cracked the tension instantly. Ethan helped Mia onto his lap. Madison couldn't sleep. She came to check on Daddy. "But why?" Mia asked bluntly in the way only children can. Madison swallowed. "Because even grown-ups need someone to talk to sometimes." Mia blinked at her with the kind of earnest innocence that could melt steel. Then she reached out and handed Madison her stuffed dolphin. "You can borrow him. He helps me when I cry." Madison's hand flew to her mouth. Tears spilled freely now. Not the sharp kind, but the healing kind. "Thank you," she whispered shakily, hugging the toy like it was the first soft thing she'd touched in years. The rest of the night unfolded gently. Madison told Ethan stories about her father. Small, imperfect moments she had locked away for years. Ethan shared how hard single parenthood had been, how scared he was of messing up, how grateful he was for little joys like Mia's morning hugs. Hours passed without either of them noticing. The storm outside faded. The air inside warmed. Two lonely people slowly found pieces of themselves in one another. When dawn crept in through the blinds, Madison stood to leave. "Ethan," she said softly, "thank you for opening the door." He walked her to the porch. "You're welcome any time, but maybe next time, not at 2 a.m., she laughed. A real laugh. "I'll try." Then she hesitated, looked at him in that lingering way that feels like a secret spoken without words. "I meant what I asked," she whispered. "Sometimes I just need someone to remind me what matters." He nodded, and "I meant what I said." Their eyes held. Not a romance yet. Not a confession, but a beginning, at a beginning that didn't need anything dramatic or rushed. Just two people quietly realizing they weren't as alone as they thought. Weeks later, Ethan noticed the changes. First, Madison checked in on Mia. She lingered after meetings. She smiled more genuinely. She asked Ethan how he was doing. Not just how his work was, but the real moment. The moment everything turned again came one evening when she asked, "Ethan, can I take Mia to the park with us tomorrow?" Just the three of us. The word hit him in a place he hadn't touched in years. And the next day, watching Madison push Mia on the swings, laughing with her, protecting her, loving her in a soft, cautious way, Ethan realized something. The night Madison showed up crying at his door wasn't the moment she fell apart at it. It was the moment she began to heal. And maybe, just maybe, it was the moment he did too. By the time the story ends, their connection is no longer fragile. It's steady at its earned, that it's rooted in something deeper than convenience or loneliness. They were two broken people who found each other at their most vulnerable hour, 2 a.m., and rebuilt. Something gentle from the pieces. A reminder for anyone listening. Sometimes the person who knocks at your door in the middle of the night isn't bringing chaos. Sometimes they're bringing change. Sometimes they're bringing a chance to start over. And those chances don't come twice. If the story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. There are so many more stories waiting for you. Stories of love, hope, pain, healing, second chances, and the quiet moments that change everything. Thank you for listening.